However, this is a great routine to actually throw into another workout routine you're doing. And you might want to use an exercise mat. Crunch is traditional crunch. You're going to lay flat on your back. Hands back behind your head. And then slowly crunch it up. Tight squeeze the top. Then slowly back down. Keep those shoulders hovering ever so slightly. Right back up again. Just get as much range of motion out as you can. Remember, you are crunching your shoulders kind of down towards your thighs and hips, not up towards your knees. So you're not trying to go up, you're trying to go down into those hips. So keep those elbows out of your field of vision for a little harder version. So crunch up nice and tight, slowly back down. If you want a little bit more leverage, arms can go fully extended. You can even hold a dumbbell if you want to make it a little bit harder. If you need a little easier, arms come across chest. Just keep going through. Nice tight squeeze. And flip it over onto your stomach. We're doing swimmers next. So out on your stomach, arms extended straight out. There are different versions of these you can do as well. And starting, we can do left hand, right foot, so squeeze up nice and high and down. This is the easiest version. Just letting that completely relax every single repetition. If you want to make it a little bit harder, then keep it hovering off the ground, but roughly the same pace. Left hand, right foot, right hand, left foot. If you want to make it a little harder for yourself, on top of that, just speed it up a little bit more to the point where you are comfortable, but you can still control the motion. Don't hold your breath, keep your nose open. Just breathing normally. If you want to get a specific timing on it, it's going to be inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale with your hands. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Now relax, we're moving to a side crunch next. So back, kind of in a typical crunch position, lay your legs off to the side, hand behind your head, the other arm up off the ground. Don't use your elbow to push up. You're gonna crunch that shoulder down into that hip. So let it relax, but not completely. Keep a little bit of tension on that oblique, and crunch it down. So we're trying to get a straight lateral motion through your shoulders. Try not to lean forward and up, it's straight across. Keep those lungs open. There's more timing on that. So exhale as you go up, inhale as you drop. Again, this is about the easiest version you can go. You can cross that arm down a little bit for a little less difficulty. Extend it out for harder. Same thing on the other side, so then switch sides. Same exact position. Right hand is behind your head, left arm's kind of tucked across your body. Keep those shoulders perpendicular to the ground. Crunch it up towards that hip, hand back down. Keep a little bit of tension in that oblique. No pressing that elbow, that left arm into the mat. Feeling it just on that top side, basically from the base of your rib cage down to crest that hip. With your hand up there, you should be able to feel those muscles contracting, that gap shortening as you come up. Again, a little easier is hand across your chest. Next hardest is hand behind your head. Touch from there is full extension on that arm, and then using weight from that point on. Harder. Relax. Switch back onto your back. We can do a full jackknife crunch. Easier version, keep those knees bent. Harder version, full extension on that body. So arms and legs out in opposite directions. Crunch up. The arms and legs come right above those joints. And crunch up towards those toes. Back down. Keep a little bit of a hover for the harder version. And right back up. Again. If a full extension is too hard for you, don't worry about it. Just bend those knees a little bit. Should make it a little bit easier. We'll bring those hands in behind your head. Full extension if you can. Get extra points if you can do this with a dumbbell in your hand and or a dumbbell in your feet. Just don't drop it on yourself. let that relax. Then you switch back over onto your stomach. Hands down in front of your face, legs fully straight back behind you. Kind of clasp those feet down, arch that back up, and back down. Keep a little bit of a hover, don't let it completely relax. The easiest version is actually to pull those elbows back to your sides. Toss in front of your face, above your head, and then full extension. It's going to be the hardest version. Again, you can always use a dumbbell to make it harder from there if you're really trying to go for some strength training. Keep those lungs open. Exhale on your way up, inhale on your way down. We have Russian twist next. So switch around onto your tailbone. Feet out in front of you. A little bit more than 90 degree angle on those knees. Extend them out as you need to for balance. So back perfectly flat, arms up in front of that chest. Lean back as far as it's comfortable, as far as you can control. You're gonna rotate left to right through those shoulders. Don't swing your arms. Your arms are staying right in front of your chest. Just rotating through that torso. The further you lean back, the harder it's going to be. If you want it even harder, pick those feet up off the ground. Hover them just a little bit. You should feel this all in that core. Again, if you want to make it even more difficult, hold a dumbbell. That'll get those obliques, transverse obliques in there a little bit more. Relax, we're going flat on your back. You got one more of these to go through, and we'll get a little bit of a break. Put your left leg out, right leg up, arms up over your head. So you're going to bring your left leg up, right arm up, touch that foot, or as close to as you can get. Back down, and same thing on the other side. You want to make it a little bit harder. Instead of letting it relax, you're going to keep it hovering. So whichever version you want, whichever version you can control, keep that lower back flat against the mat. If you start feeling that lower back lift up, then you're a little bit past your strength level, so you need to drop it back down. That lower back should be plastered against that mat the entire time. Harder version with those feet and arms hovering. And let it relax. All right. So this is the end of our first group. We've got one more group to go. If this first round it was a little bit too easy for you, then try the harder versions for this next round. See you in just a second. Everybody, let's go ahead and start into that second round of this. These are all new exercises, starting off with a toe touch crunch, so lay flat on your back, legs straight up in the air, arms up over your shoulders, crunch up towards those toes, back down, but don't want those shoulders completely touch. Let's crunch it up and back down. Keep those lungs open. If you want to, let's exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. If you want it to be a little bit harder, grab a dumbbell, press up towards those toes. Some legs open. Relax, flip over onto your stomach. We're doing back bow crossovers next. So flat on your stomach. These versions against tuck to sides. Or you have to front of your face for a little harder version. Full extension, to the side. Both sides, crunch up, and back down. So squeeze those arms and legs off to the sides. Squeeze them over. top. So they should be in the center. We're going to use the highest point of that arc. Harder version is keeping them hovering with every single repetition. Easier version is letting them relax. And easier version for the upper body, sorry, for the lower back, is just tucking those elbows to your sides, arching back and forth, and letting it touch each time. Harder version goes all the way up to that full extension. And if you're real glutton for punishment, you can always use a dumbbell. Relax, we're doing side crunch with the leg lift, so we're going to start laying down our left side, legs out in a full extension in line with your body. Those hips should be perpendicular to the ground, don't let them lean forward or lean back. And up on top of that thigh, crunch up, and reach down like you're trying to touch the back of those feet, the heel of your feet. That way it'll keep those hips stacked. Get a nice tight contraction through that oblique. If you're laying on your left side, that left hand is going to be out to help you keep balance. But you shouldn't really be pushing into it to help you crunch up. It should just be keeping you from tipping left or forward back. Down, back of his feet, trying to reach towards that heel. His hips stacked. Relax, we'll switch to the other side. Look around. This version is feeling a little too easy for you. This version is feeling a little too easy for you. Feel free to grab a dumbbell and use that to make it, to give a little extra weight. So what you're going to do to make that work is you're going to move that top arm either to chest, behind your head, or to the full extension to get that leverage and then make it work a little bit harder. Whatever approach you did last time, you're going to copy it. You don't want to have one side working more than the other. You want to try to be as balanced as possible. Always set your weight repetitions based off of your weak side. You don't want that strong side getting stronger faster. Now down to relax. We're going to do a crisscross crunch, so leg flat on your back. One leg extended out straight, the other leg extended up at a 90. And bring those hands back behind your head. Contract, crunch up. Right elbow to left knee, and switch sides, left elbow to right knee. Just keep alternating back and forth. And this isn't a bicycle where you're going in a circular pattern with those feet. It's just out and back. To make it more difficult, don't let that knee come in past that hip joint. Try to get a good full rotation. Crunching up to the side every single time you do this. Lower back, still press down into that mat. Now relax, we're going to back bow twist next. So you flip around onto your stomach. So again, hands tight to the sides for the easy version. Next hardest. We're going to crunch. Back bow, arch that back up, and twist at the same time. So it's up and twist, like you're trying to bring that elbow back to the other side of your body. Exhale as you come up, inhale as you drop. As you try to get a rotation on this one, to make it harder, you're actually going to bring your arms out wider rather than short in front. So it's going to be the hardest version, next hardest, easiest. Again, keep those lungs open, don't hold your breath. Alright, we got windshield wipers next, so lay flat on your back. Those legs are going to start straight above your hips, kind of like with a toe touch crunch. But instead of going up towards your toes, you're going to roll your feet left and right. So drop them off to the side.
Oh my
Lower
God.
as you can. Still controlling them. Same thing off to the other side. Make sure you control at those knees so you can bend those knees. Make it a little easier for yourself. Rotate back and forth that way. If you can, full extension. Getting too close to the wall, you can't get full range of motion on that side. Your shoulders flat against the ground. Don't let your shoulders lift up. You want to keep them flat down. Relax. All right, we've got full body extensions next. We bring those knees up to a 90-degree angle. So kind of starting in tabletop position. Arms up by your sides, crunch forward. You're going to extend out to a full extension as close to as you can control. Then tuck right back into that same position. Don't let that knee come in past your hip joint. You want to straight up above. Crunch down, extend out as far as you can, and then crunch back in. If you feel like you can only go to about here, that's fine. You want to make sure that lower back stays flat against that mat. Those lungs open. Exhale as you extend out. Inhale to drop back in. And let it relax. Alright guys, that went by pretty quick.